Hey Alex, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. We're going to go through and talk about your motion mechanics and break it down frame by frame and kind of talk a little bit about each step and sort of a couple of the spots that we look at through our mechanics, and we'll try to get you in a spot where we're able to repeat our mechanics, we're nice and consistent, and most importantly, we're keeping ourselves healthy, making sure we're utilizing our lower half, utilizing our body, and we'll go through and talk about each step here. All right, so initially what we look at is we look at balance, we look at posture, and so I'm going to draw a line over your head and through this back foot here. All right, you're doing a good job at coming set over your back foot. All right, looks like your weight's good. You're not going to shift back, and you can see how your weight stays over that back leg. So that's really good. A lot of times you'll see kids, their head will start to lean forward, or their hips will start to go forward. So you're staying over your back leg, all right, which is really good to see. Okay, so now we're going to see right at the height of your leg kick. So it looks like about right here, your knee gets up to its highest point. All right, I kind of talked about posture a little bit, and I want you to watch what's going on with your upper body. All right, as we go forward, I'm going to draw a line there. I'm going to draw a line on your hip here. All right, so now we'll tick through. You can see how you're dropping down and staying over that back leg before your head's going forward. All right, and you can see your hips just start to break the line, with some conviction right about here. All right, so once your body starts getting forward, it's starting going right here. All right, so we want to try to get that body going sooner. All right, so you want to stay balanced over this back leg, but I want to see you get to the point of right here is maintaining this posture. All right, meaning don't bend forward, don't bend back, keep a nice straight spine. Your head should kind of follow a straight line with the mound. All right, so what I want to see now is instead of that lean back, I want you to see your hips go forward. All right, with this head and spine staying where they are. All right, so as we tick forward here, right about at this position, ideally I'd like to still see you probably, your head might be up somewhere around this spot right here, and your hips are just doing all the work, because right here, when you sink back this way, you kind of take that lower half out of the equation. Now it's kind of more upper body focus. You lose your legs, and I'll show you what I mean by the legs. I'll draw a straight line down the mound here. It looks like that's about straight. All right, so now as you come down, when you rock out like that, it's kind of hard to see from the from this angle here, but you're opening up early. All right, so you've lost your hips. When you drop down here, you can see this foot kind of swing out, kind of outside that foot. Maybe it's a little bit easier to see without that line. All right, so we want to try to see, keeping that foot sort of outside that back foot and just letting your hips stay closed as long as they can. All right, so getting that down there, it's just all about keeping hips closed, driving down the mound, getting that body going with it too. So that foot strike, which is another spot we look at, so you can see right here, looks like this is your foot strike here. All right, so now your posture is good. All right, you got postures over that back hip. All right, this is good. But what you see here is sort of what your arm's doing here. All right, and so now this is kind of, this elbow's getting up above the shoulder, which is causing a little bit of strain in that shoulder, and it might not do it now, but when you get older and get stronger, it's going to cause some issues. Anytime you get, elbow above that shoulder, it's not too bad here, but ideally we'd like to still see, that back elbow matched up with that front elbow. So now you're probably somewhere back in this area. All right, and so all this is just showing us is because you've lost that posture, because you kind of drop back, your arm path gets kind of out of sync with your body, and so now your arm gets up ahead. Right here is sort of that position I was talking about. So your arm just gets really early because you kind of sink back. Your arm gets going too quick, and your body's just your arm's just way too far ahead of your body. So then it just kind of has to play catch up and pauses here at this spot. So you lose momentum, you lose power. Your front side looks really good. Your glove's staying on over that front foot. We'll watch to see what it does through your release point. But other than this back arm, everything's pretty solid here. All right, it's good to see. Now as we tick forward, you can see that glove staying out over that front foot pretty well. So you're doing a pretty good job with that front side. Now it's just all about syncing up that lower half, syncing up those hips, and you're going to be good to go going forward. All right. So through your release point, because that arm's kind of out ahead, because of that posture change, what you're going to see through your release point is you can see this back foot coming off the ground right here. All right, and you're releasing, somewhere between these two frames, but let's just call it this point. You can see your head's kind of over that heel. And so right here, if you kind of think about, boxers, is their most powerful punch with 2 feet on the ground or 1 foot on the ground? And so, with that back foot, you can still kind of drive. You can get out over that front foot, use just more power. So ideally, through that release point, I'd like to still see that back foot on the ground, creating a little bit more angle in your back so you can get out over that front foot. Now your head's out over that front foot. Your chest is out over that front foot. Now, you've picked up a couple more inches of release point on that ball, and it gets on those hitters a lot quicker. All right, so it's just all it really is it all stems from right back at this point. All right, so right here, just think about if there's a pull from your shoulder and your hip, and as you go forward, that just stays the same. It doesn't move. All right, and you're just staying tall. That head's kind of following a straight path, and that's going to fix that back arm. That back arm's not going to be so out in front. You're going to be able to stay back a little bit more, stay in that back leg, and it's going to be going. So it's something you're just going to have to drill out, rep it out a bunch of times, but it's something that is a pretty easy fix because everything else looks so good for you. So anyways, thanks for making it out into camp. Hopefully you had a great time, and hopefully we'll see you in with ABC.